Welcome back, everyone. This
To
is
the
episode
Plus
11.
3 podcast.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, Evan. Do you like that?
That's all right. Yeah, well, it's anyone's game at this point, right?
Well, I just
turn at opening.
I just
the
like
thing.
finishing your sentences.
It's beautiful. It means that we're so connected.
So good. Oh, I tried finishing.
You almost got it. So this week, Tina's back. Welcome back, Tina.
I am back on the land of Canadia.
Canadia. Yeah, you were pretty far away, eh?
Yeah, I was in Europe for 9 days. It's great. Very sunny.
Yeah, she comes back.
Very cold weather.
Yeah, she comes back. It's like fucking 20 degrees out. She's like, oh, it's so cold out. I'm like, what? It's boiling.
Actually, yeah, doesn't Europe have like a massive heat wave going on everywhere right now?
35 every day. Hasn't rained in like 3 months.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
It's nice.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
I'm going back to that weather. Even hotter though. Vegas next week will be 42, I think, every day.
Ooh. And it's dry, just dry.
No humidity, which is good though.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I'll be in Canada doing Canada things.
I'm going to be in Canada driving my brand new car that I'm picking up tomorrow.
I'm going to be pouring maple syrup all over my Canada money. And
yeah, the colorful Canada money.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to put all my money through the wash. Oh, go on.
But while I was in Europe, I did play a lot of Nintendo Switch though.
Okay.
Which is great because Nintendo Switch has developed a lot of good games. And I'm going to start talking about one good game that I ended up picking up at EB Games for about $40. Sushi Striker, The Way of Sushido. So Nintendo developed and published this game with Indie Zero. And essentially, it's an action arcade puzzle game, which the whole concept of the game is to basically go against the Empire, who has forbidden the villagers to eat sushi. So it's a fun play on trying to get back the power of eating sushi. So you play either a female character or male character, but either way, they both have the same name, and you play as Musashi. So basically, you're going against the Empire by battling Empire's army men. And of course, like, it's set up like Super Mario where there's worlds. So pretty much at the end of each world, you're facing like a boss of the Empire army. And you're Musashi, and you're working with these little tiny animals that you find along the way, which are called sprites. And these little animals, some of them look like Japanese little tigers, like cheetahs. What are those? Snow lions?
Snow leopard?
Something like that, yeah. I don't know. They're all like cute little characters. And pretty much you're called a Sushi Striker. So you're the savior of the village. So you're trying to defeat each army man by battling them in a sushi war. And this sushi war takes place in this restaurant that has conveyor belt sushi. So it's like pretty much like 4 or 5 lanes of sushi. And pretty much you're facing horizontally from the Empire boss. And he gets 2 lanes, you get 2 lanes, and then there's one shared lane where you can both kind of take sushi from. And all these sushi are on matching plates that are colored. And essentially, you need to match at least 2 colored plates. So that's where the puzzle game comes in play. So you have to match colored plates to make a huge chain. The longer the chain, the more XP. And when you collect a chain of plates, it goes to the bottom of where you're standing. And you have to line up like 5 things of plates. And then that's the max that you can have standing there. And then you have to decide during the game while you're collecting plates to throw them at the army men. So I guess the more plates you throw together, you make a combo. So once you have a big enough combo, you fill up this Jomboli mode, which means once it's full, you can deal a huge bunch of damage for 12 seconds. Also, when you are playing the match, your sushi sprites, they can gain they're also like their meter can fill up, and once their meter fills up you can use them in the match. So pretty much the sprites have their own abilities. For example, there's one sprite who's this cute little tiger that does a sushi bonanza. So it's basically when you activate it, pretty much all the plates in front of you will be one color, so you can collect all of them. You can go up to like a combo of 21. And then there's other guys. Little tiger does this mode called Electro Zapper. So when you activate him, pretty much all the plates that you have lined up to be able to hit at the other person will now be charged with electricity. So that will deal like more damage. Also, there's one guy that also speeds up the lane of the conveyor belt by 10 times. You can gain sushi plates faster. There's another guy that you can like gain health by eating desserts. So these are very helpful while you're playing the match, because the other guy will also have his own abilities which could affect you while you play. And then also to your own character, you can activate striker specs. So one spec is called a gear. So at the start of the game, they give you a gear that basically chooses you to have a novice conveyor belt speed. And along the way, you can get, I guess, bigger gears that can speed up your lane speed. And then there's like cute little raw powers that are raw sushi that you can put in effect. So it has its own ability tree. So with these like raw sushis, like one of them will increase once you have a HP level 40, you'll get you to defeat your enemy faster. There's also one that I was using that was kind of risky, where each match you start with half your XP, but your damage is 1.5 times. So it's like, do you want to risk starting with half your health but also have more damage? So you kind of have to like think about what you want to equip.
Seems pretty crazy. Like, seems pretty in depth. Like,
This
with all the
sounds like an
information
RPG.
just-
I'm like, what?
it
What?
sounds like,
Well, it's a puzzle game, so but then it has like the RPG elements to it.
sounds pretty like, well, obviously I've seen it because you've played it, but you've probably gone farther since the last time I watched you play, but it sounds really fucking cool.
Yeah, and it's also interesting because like this type of puzzle game, like I feel like wouldn't have been developed this way unless it wasn't heavily involved by Nintendo, because like it's a very good quality game. Like essentially it could have been even better if they added just the Mario characters, but they decided to go the Japanese way, which is kind of cool, with like all new characters. But if they did add the Mario characters, like it would have been a huge success. That's how like good this game is, pretty much. But going along from what I was saying, essentially the whole gameplay, like, it's very easy to go along with and master, because like everything is made kind of like for children / adults, where you can just pick it up really easily, and there's not really an easy, medium, or hard difficulty. But you just kind of have to use your critical thinking to like know what sprites to use and know what striker specs to use, that kind of thing. In the whole game, like it's very bright, it's animated, the visuals are really beautiful, and it has like continued gameplay after you finish the story. So like you try to go back and try to master each stage with an S ranking, which is essentially the best ranking. And when you do get an S ranking on a certain stage, you get more XP. So the more XP you get, you can unlock all the sprites to the game. So it kind of has like this added factor where like you're not spending. This game actually was $79.99. Wow. You're not spending like $90 on this puzzle game where you can't play anything after the story.
Yep,
so
that's Nintendo. Literally,
$80,
$100 for a game.
But I did pick it up for $40. So.
So it sounds hard to understand just from the way you're describing it. Is there any games that are like similar to it?
I kind of like those puzzle games where like Zuma, I think it is, where you're trying to match a whole bunch of different colored balls that are going in a circle. Do you remember that game?
Okay,
Is it
yeah.
Zuma? So essentially, you're just trying to collect colored plates with 2 or more, and the more plates you string together of sushi, the more damage it does. So like if you string like a whole chain of like 20 plates of blue sushi plates, that's like 8 damage. Where like all the way up to, if you see a plate that's black and gold, it could do 50 damage. So like the more you stack plates, the more damage it does towards your opponent. So your opponent has a bunch of HP, and so do you. So you're pretty much just attacking each other with
plates.
safety plates. Yeah. So you have to like string combos to just, I guess, get more points of damage.
The one thing too about the game, Evan, is whenever you're collecting these plates, you can only collect a certain amount of them. So like you have like, let's say 5 different rows, and if you do like a combo and you collect 20 plates, those 20 plates will go on one of those rows. And then if you collect like, another combo, that it will go beside it. And once all those 5 are full, if you don't actually attack the person and you do another combo, the 20 plates that you collected first would actually disappear. You wouldn't be able to use that at all. So you actually have to keep an eye on the plates and make sure that you're actually attacking them at a certain time before they actually get away. It's weird. It's like I've barely played it. Like I think I played the demo, but when watching, I actually enjoy watching her play it because it's I don't know, it's amusing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a fun game. It's very fast paced. What I forgot to mention is when you're stringing these plates, if you get to the end of the conveyor belt, that's it. Like you can't collect any more plates of that color, so you're kind of forced to pick a different plate. Also, it's very fast paced. When you're stringing, you only have max 7 seconds to gain those plates, and then if you don't and you go up past the time, then you actually lose that string of plates that you collected. So it's kind of like, it's very stressful when you're stringing all these combos and stuff.
It's making me think of Overcooked a little bit. I'm kind of imagining that in my head.
Yeah, but it's Overcooked, but you're not stressing on like what your other players are doing. You're stressing on yourself. So you're pretty much the only person that's able to beat this person.
Fucking
It's like Super Mario because you're going through levels in each world, and there's like bosses at the end, but then all you're doing is just going against guys. So
I think I'd have to see it.
Once you see it, Evan, you'll be.
There's a demo for it.
Yeah. You would immediately understand it. You'd be like, "Oh, okay, I get it."
Okay.
Yeah. So buy a Switch and then play the demo.
Yes,
and
that
then,
sounds
and
like the
then
plan.
refund it, and then just refund it.
Refund my Switch.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's a good game. It came out June 8th last year. So you could probably pick up physical copies for much cheaper, and it goes on sale at the digital store as well. So while I was in Europe, I decided, I think in the airport or before the airport, I would download Turok 2.
Hell yeah.
They recently released it August 9th this year. Basically a remaster to play on the Switch. And for those of you that play the original Turok 2 on the N64, this would be very nostalgic for you. For me, never played Turok, so it was like brand new for me. I know John's played it. Evan, did you play it?
I've seen John play it mostly. That's
my
experience with it.
The thing about Turok 2 is it's the first game I've ever rented.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that's like the best memory I have of it. I also remember it's extremely hard, and Christina let me try it the other night, and I completely forgot how hard it was. We have it lucky for the games now. Like it's with like auto aim and all the tutorials and stuff. Like it's ridiculous.
Well, let's talk about the story first. So the story is good. You're in a world where time has no meaning and evil knows no bounds. Basically, you're in a world where you're a warrior named Turok, who has to basically go through this savage land. there's dinosaurs that he finds in the world and has to defeat. The enemies are kind of are not enemies, sorry. The weapons are kind of hilarious. You can have like a claw, bow and arrow, which sucks in that game, shotgun, pistol. This like what's the pistol that shoots like the orbs?
Oh, like the
Orbs.
acid gun or something like that.
I think so.
I
That was a
barely
bad
think-
gun too. It takes forever to like load because you're loading up the orb, and then when you shoot it, it just the aim is awful.
That's the weapons that you have right now. That's not even all of them. There's so many other cool guns in that game. You have one that's I forget what it's called, but it's like a gun where you shoot it and it connects to
It's
person's
explosive
brain.
ammo, right?
No, it just connects to the person's brain and like sucks out all the brain juice from their head, and then it will just explode right afterwards. It's
Oh, yeah.
fucking
Isn't this game really gory too?
Oh,
Dude,
it's super gory.
yeah, it's so good.
And the visuals obviously is like 90s. They did like obviously sharpen it and make it look nicer for the remaster, but still has a classic 3D environment. I don't know, the gameplay, it's fun, but the whole game is puzzle based and it's really hard. Like the first one, you had to find 4 children that were locked up and you had to release them. Super hard to like figure out where they all are. And then on top of that, you had to like defeat different areas that have like explosive stuff. You have to blow up different buildings. But yeah, I was stuck on the first level forever. John actually had to help me find the last child.
Yeah,
there
it
a
wasn't even
map?
the last trial. Yeah, there's a map. It's like Doom, so it
Okay.
goes on.
There's a map, but it's useless, really.
it's yeah. I guess it's kind of useless.
There's portals too, Evan. So like you have to portal from like world to world, like level to level kind of thing. And you kind of forget like from this land that I portaled in, did I miss something? So just like you have to backtrack. It's really annoying.
It's a lot of backtracking, but the cool thing about the portals too is you unlock these portals that when you go in it, this girl, I don't know her name, but she'll basically ask you what you need, and you can ask for health, ammo, a bunch of other shit. And so she'll give you all that. So like if you're running low on ammo, you could just go to her, ask her for like ammo and stuff, come out, and then you can just destroy everyone. But
Nice.
yeah, it's a lot of backtracking. It's really old school. I remember it was being really difficult on the N64, and like Christina said, like they sharpened the graphics up and everything like that. But if you play it on the N64, the frame rate is trash, and you could barely see anything. It had the fog. Remember in
Oh,
N64,
yeah.
the fog that was in front of you, so like it would load every time you like move towards the fog. Well, this like it's completely open. Like they fixed that, and it's I think 60 frames per second too. But it's a cool game to have on the Switch for sure. I was actually jealous that like when she went to Romania, like Europe, that she actually like was being able to play Turok 2 on the plane. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
It is pretty cool to be able to play that on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Since the screen is like, it's pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
Another game that I played a lot while I was in Europe was Mario Tennis Aces, that released June 22nd last year. Great game. Like, I know it's like repetitive, like Mario Tennis on the Wii, on the Wii U, now on the Switch, but it just keeps getting better and better. John and I played a lot of it as well.
Yeah.
And it's a little cheap because I do have a moment in the match where you can go over the star that's on the bottom, and then once you're on that star, you can click, I guess, right.
It's right and left trigger, and you
Yeah.
activate your special ability.
Yeah, so basically you can aim on the other side of where the opponent is, and you basically slam it. But you only have like what 75% or what is it?
I think it's
7
like
seconds or something.
Yeah, but I think the 100%. So whenever you activate the special ability, it goes into first person mode, and then you get to choose where you want to shoot the ball to the other side. And I think if you do it quickly, if it's at like 90%, I think that's how strong your hit is.
Yeah, so the like more time that you take to aim it and release the ball, the less, I guess, like damage it will do or strength it will towards the other opponent. So like you take too much time, it's like 20%. The other opponent can most likely get it.
Yeah.
Also, you can hit the other opponent, and that like basically they're not able to get it. You can also damage someone's racket to the point where it breaks, and then basically they're knocked out of the game. So you win automatically. Not only is the star that you can go over and click right trigger, you have a meter. So every time you hit the tennis ball with your racket, you can charge it ahead of time. So each time you charge it and you hit it successfully, your meter goes up a little bit. And so you can use that meter ability to press YY, which will make you. So say John, you're on one side and John hits it all the way to the other side and you're too far away. Press YY and you can jump towards the ball and hit it. So you can pretty much not be able to miss it, but you have to time it perfectly. But that uses some of your meter. But once your meter is all the way up, you use your like star ability pretty much. And with your star ability, they do this cute little cutscene of your character. And once again, you aim, it has 75%. And the more time you take, I think it jiggles as well, right? To make you kind of like miss it. And then you have to try to hit on your opponent's side. So there's like a lot of like cool stuff they added to it. The whole ability to be able to go get it if it's too far away from you was in other Mario Tennises as well. Another thing I thought was really interesting is they added like, I think there's like 35 characters.
Yeah, there's a lot, and like every character has their own like ability. So like Yoshi's really good with speed, so they can so like you can like move around the course really fast. Waluigi's really technical. Obviously Bowser, Donkey Kong, all the big characters are like more powerful, so like their hits are really strong,
but they're really slow.
And then obviously Mario and fucking Peach are all around good characters. Stupid. But the one thing too, I don't know if you're going to talk about it, but the one thing that I thought was really cool was the mini games on the multiplayer side.
Oh, and also the adventure mode. The adventure mode is really fun. Like what I was talking about, which is free play, where you play local or online. But the adventure mode, single player, it's pretty much like Super Mario. You go through different worlds and different levels, and you have to challenge different characters in the Mario world in different areas. So like one part is like Egypt, and you have to like go against a piranha plant, and you have to try to hit the different piranhas on this like leveled pyramid. Like, I don't know, it's just really interesting. They have different areas in the world that are historic. Keeps you engaged, and like if you only play alone, like there's a lot of stuff that you can do.
Yeah, the game's really fun, Evan.
Co-op challenges, and of course you have people that come over. You want to play the 4-player.
I was gonna say, I believe I may have played this before. I don't know if it was at your place or at a friend's place.
You actually might have played it here.
Thanks. Yeah, maybe.
It came out last year, so probably.
Huh. It does sound familiar. I played it somewhere. I'm sure I played it somewhere. I remember just being absolutely dominated. Because this is the gripe I have with Nintendo games. I'll just throw this in before I start. Because when a person hasn't played a Nintendo game, starts playing a Nintendo game, it's usually at a friend's house. And that friend has played the Nintendo game thoroughly and knows all of the characters and knows everything. So they're like, oh, hey, let's have a fun little game of Mario Tennis or Mario Party. Then you get wrecked, and they're not telling you why you're getting wrecked.
You know what game is really bad for that, Evan? Super Smash Brothers.
Yep, Smash. That's why I do not play Smash.
Yeah, it's...
Whoa, don't hate on Smash.
It's a good game, but the community is kind of closed off to people who aren't like inherently Nintendo fans like myself. Like it's not friendly to enter into Nintendo like later on. You have to be like in it from birth, basically.
It's very competitive.
Extremely competitive.
And then if you want to play Smash, like if you actually want to play Smash and you're not good at it, you have to play it by yourself.
Basically, yeah. or find other people who are just as shitty as you.
Yeah.
Nintendo makes good quality games. They're very well developed and they're balanced and everything. But the community's, it's tough. It's tough to get into the community, I find. But once you're in it, I'm sure it's like super fun and.
Yeah, once you know like everything around it.
Yeah.
Another multiplayer game that was really crazy was Splatoon. Christina and I tried it online and we just got dominated.
Oh yeah.
But, yeah.
Sounds familiar. Is that the like paintball one or something?
Yeah, so you run around as a child throwing paint on the ground.
Nice. I'm a child. It sounds like a game for me.
You'll get dominated.
Oh yeah, probably.
Evan, what did you play this week?
So wait, before you start, I just want to say Mario Tennis, I beat Christina every time. I'm the best.
Yeah.
I do not suck. I'm the best.
That's not what the notes say. So we'll just ignore that.
John knows he sucks at it, so.
I rule.
Hyrule? Nintendo!
Oh my god.
Okay, so this week, I first started off by playing a game called Katana Zero, which came out April 18th, 2019. Basically, it's a pixel graphics side-scroller hack and slash game at its core. The story is, from what I gather, is you're a hired ninja living in some shitty apartment somewhere, and you have this guy who has hired you to perform killings that are recorded on tape for some reason. Don't know what that's all about yet.
That's from Manhunt, but okay.
Basically, yeah, it kind of sounds like it's like a Manhunt type thing, but
yeah.
But the dude who's hiring you, like, you get some kind of drug from him, and if you don't have the drug, you get nightmares. So I guess the goal of the game is to just kind of continue doing these killing missions for him, and so you can get your medication and keep back your nightmares. One thing that has happened is I beat a couple levels of this game, and then there was like a little cinematic thing where you go, because you go to sleep in between, you go back to your apartment and you go to sleep to load the next level. And in your apartment, like there's like a little TV with the news playing, and it kind of reads out of the news foreshadowing of what just happened and what's going to happen.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Anyway, so there was a little nightmare thing that happened, and you get to play the nightmares a little bit. And it was really weird. It didn't tell you what was going on. You just had to press a button, and then things would happen, and then the nightmare just suddenly ends, and then it shows you waking up. I don't want to give away too much about it because I think it's important for the story.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's the gist of the story from what I gather. Yeah, so the way the game is set up is that it's a platformer, so side-scrolling, but you have to kind of plan out how you're going to kill everybody in the room. If you get hit once, you have to start the whole level over again. So you, like I said, it's weird. It's just a weird game. I've never seen anything like it. So you start off the level, and you're being recorded on tape, and you can see in the top left corner you have a battery meter, and that battery meter is for it can slow down time, but it uses up the battery. If you use up all the battery, you got to restart the film, so restart the level.
Huh.
Everything happens really fast, so you're jumping around, and the people come at you really quickly, so you have to act fast, and you have to kill them. Everything dies in one hit, basically, so it's just a matter of like figuring out a sequence of moves that you're going to do. So like the first time you start a level, it says press attack to start planning. And you're like, okay. So basically it runs you through the controls. The controls basically you're just able to run, jump. You can, if you jump on top of a platform, you can press down and then you'll drop down from that platform.
Okay.
The coolest part though is that you have your you have a rolling mechanic to dodge lasers and stuff like that. And you also have your main attack, your swing. You may have seen this in videos, but depending on where you're aiming your joystick, it'll actually slice in that direction, and it's super accurate.
That's
so
cool.
If you're aiming like down and to the right a little bit, your blade will aim at that exact angle. And so I only figured that out later on. It doesn't tell you. So here I am just like kind of running up to dudes and just pressing X. But meanwhile, there are people jumping around and stuff, and I could have like, whenever they jump at me, I could slice them in midair by aiming the thing like slightly up and to the right and then slicing kind of thing. So once you figure out how to do that...
You're using a controller, by the way, sorry.
Yes, sorry. I use a controller for basically every game I play.
Okay.
But I play on PC, isn't that weird?
Wait, what? Why would you play the controller?
It's just for all the games I play.
Platformers?
Yeah, for all the games I play, platformers and stuff, they're just designed for
Oh,
controllers.
okay, yeah, for platformers, but not for other stuff.
Yeah, it depends. It really depends. Another thing you could do in the level is you can pick up items that are left around the level. And usually if you throw that item, it'll kill whoever it hits in one hit. So you end up doing cool sequences as you pass through the levels, like you drop down from somewhere, and then as you hit the ground, you pick up a vase and like throw it to the dude at the right, and then slice to the guy at the left, and they're both coming at you at the same time. And it looks really cool. It's all about doing cool bullet time type shit.
I like
But
that.
you got to be on your feet because everything happens really fast and you die really quickly. There's also another mechanic. Through the story, you have to kind of pick your responses too. But there's like quick time conversation events, so you actually have a time limit to pick an answer.
Okay.
And so far, I haven't seen too many ways that affects the story because I've only played about 4 hours of it. But yeah.
I know that it changes. So for those like mini games for like the conversations, sometimes like there's one part where there's a girl that's asking you if you're there for like a Comic-Con or whatever,
Right.
or like if you're like dressed up as a cosplayer.
Yeah.
And if you actually answer like correctly, she won't actually call the security on you, so you can just walk in like perfectly fine. Or
It
she can
makes-
just like call.
It
Yeah.
makes you wonder though, like would it give you a different thing and then still allow you to beat the level, or do you have to actually pick the right thing to continue?
Maybe.
I
I don't
never
know.
got to try that.
Maybe there's multiple endings.
So,
Could be.
in this game question, is it forcing you to progress through the game? Like, does it shorten? Like, does the walls move kind of in where you're forced to go and kill people,
Yeah,
or is it
it's-
like a timed platformer where you just kind of free play?
No, it's very linear. It's like you begin the game, throw it into a level. You complete the level. It brings you back to your apartment, like your home apartment, whatever. And then you check the TV for news of what's happening next, and then you go to sleep. And then it loads the next level. It's it puts you exactly like step by step what you're doing. You have no control over that. But there's no... You're not really limited by time. No. You have as long as you want to explore the levels, figure out your strategy, and then execute it.
But when you execute it, that's when the battery power thing runs low, right?
No, the battery power is there the whole time for you to use once you start a level.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just kind of like you hold down, I think, left trigger, and it slows down time.
But if that runs out, then you have to restart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you
Restart
just
from
can't
where
use
you woke up, or
from the
No,
level.
restart the level. Yeah. Restart the level.
It's really it's not really connected very well because you just kind of teleport from your apartment and then teleport to a level. There's story stuff that happens in between, but if you're not really paying attention to it, then you're gonna be lost. Yeah, it holds your hand through it though. There's no exploration really, just in the little areas that you're in.
Are you enjoying it though?
I wouldn't say so. It's a bit weird for me.
Yeah.
No. But I'm not. I'm not a big fan of story when it comes to platformers. I just want like a straight up game.
would you finish it?
If it's as short as I think it is, then yeah, probably. But I'm leaning more like a 4 out of 10 would finish at the moment.
4 to 10.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. So that's
Yikes.
Katana Zero. I bought it on Steam. I believe it was $14-ish in that range.
You've
Great
refunded?
graphics.
Oh, I didn't buy on Epic. What are you doing, Evan?
I want to be able to refund. It's speaking of Epic Store, that brings me to my next game, which is not available on Steam yet, so I don't know if I can refund it. But
Nope, you can't.
Well, great, awesome. I'm gonna be
You're
very
keeping this
wary of
game
that.
forever.
I guess I am. So this is Ancestors: The Humankind Odyssey.
I'm excited to hear what you have to say about this game.
I
'Cause
like it a lot.
I have it, but I haven't played it yet. So
Oh no? Okay. Well, I'll reveal to you what it's like through the eyes of a casual gamer. So it came out August 27th, so that was just last week. So one thing I'll say is that everything that they advertise the game to be is correct. Like, they don't help you much at all. It's realistic, yeah. Like, it's hard, but it's unique.
Hold on, you have to clarify what type of, is it a chimpanzee? Is it a baboon? Is it a gorilla?
You play
it's an ape, isn't it?
So chimpanzee?
I think they're chimpanzees.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not
Okay.
like great apes.
Those
They're
are some
They're chimpanzees.
strong MFs.
Yeah, they're chimpanzees. Actually, now that I think about it, because they're meant to be our ancestors. We were most closely related to chimpanzees at the time.
Yeah,
So
genetically.
10,000 years ago, it starts you off. So the game is a platformer exploration action RPG type game.
Ooh, that's a lot to take in.
Yeah, I don't know.
for
It is.
Oh,
it's
what is it? An
very RPG. It's sort of like an RPG. It's not
Okay.
very standard at all. But as I'm discovering the RPG-like elements, I'm getting pretty lost, as I normally would. Anyway, it's more a platformer and exploration game than anything. It's kind of like No Man's Sky. It doesn't give you a lot of information to work from, and it gives you very basic mechanics and expects you to explore the world and use them, and then figure out what happens as a result. So you start off in basically African jungle 10,000 years ago, and your main goal of the game is to expand your territory, survive, breed, and evolve your species while avoiding and dominating other species, which there are a lot of, and they're very brutal, and you suck against them for a very long time.
Yeah.
That's one painful thing I discovered, is that this game is ruthless. Like, you begin, so your ape clan is like maybe seven adults or something like that. I put in a good solid day, and all of my clan died off except for two adults and two babies. Actually, no, sorry, one of the babies died somehow. I don't know what happened to it. But there's so many things you got to pay attention to. Like, you have to make sure your stamina is in check. You have to make sure you're well fed, you're well watered. You have to make sure you sleep enough. You basically can't do anything at night because it's so dark outside. You have to keep track of your clan members, where they are. You have to constantly call out. You have to go like, whoop, whoop. Then you listen for them and see where they are. And then they're following you through the jungle and stuff. And then you have to make sure they're actually following you. They're not stuck somewhere, or they're too afraid to jump to where you are. And you have to make sure that they're not getting attacked by an alligator randomly, or getting constricted by a snake.
Serious?
Oh, it's crazy. There's so much stuff you have to pay attention to.
You can like get poisoned and stuff in the game.
Can you
get
just
poison.
like kill all of them off and just have you?
Yeah, you could do that. But then you're not going to advance your species,
Yeah.
from what I know,
True.
because you need a female and a male at the very least. And then you have to
That
mate
makes sense.
successfully, which is another thing you have to pay.
Basically, you should just protect one ape.
Not necessarily, because
Protect a man, so then it can be a different world.
well, then you're just gonna die because you can't procreate. It would just be a dead species. So that's another thing too, is you have to. One thing I was not able to do successfully, because I would make sure. Oh yeah, sorry. Another key thing is that through the game, your goal is to pass generations to evolve your species. So basically, your apes, they all get old and they die. So I think I had about
So the time, I guess,
Yeah,
in
time
the
is a
game
factor,
is
too.
quite fast.
Yeah.
Well, like they're aging that fast.
Yeah, so like the elder apes, they have a shorter lifespan. So the total health and total stamina and stuff that they have is much lower than a younger ape would be.
So you could just kill them off then.
Well, no, you
You're
use
too old. Die.
basically what I use them for is just to carry around the little ones on their back and follow me around and stuff. You can switch between any ape and actually play as them, which is useful if you're doing things in groups, which you should do often. Like, say you're like,
So
okay,
how is this game? Is it top down or?
oh yeah, okay. So visually, it's a 3D third-person action game. It plays kind of like Assassin's Creed. The way that
It's the creator of the first second Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. So the world is like a really chaotic, complex, realistic looking jungle. So you can imagine a real jungle, you'd be lost and there's like things trees winding together, and there's like crazy cliffs that are shaped weird, and you have to figure out where the hell you are. So you're climbing around a lot and jumping from tree to tree and stuff like that. And you can't see shit half the time. So anyway, yeah.
There's a lot to take in.
Yeah, and I'm not even done explaining all the mechanics of the game yet. I
Wait,
wanted to.
Before you start, there's no HUD, right?
There is a HUD. It depends on your difficulty you pick.
Like a mini map and stuff?
Oh, there's no mini map. Okay, I'm playing on the easiest difficulty, and I've been given the most HUD.
Oh my god, Evan, you would pick the easiest difficulty.
Dude, I challenge any hardcore gamer to play this on easy and get far.
Okay.
It's not a standard.
All right,
game.
I'll do it in 3 seconds.
Okay. It's more of a simulation than
with the keyboard and mouse.
Yeah, I wonder what it would be like. The game says it recommends controller though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it out on console as well?
Yes, probably Xbox. And it's on PS4 at least. I know that.
Huh.
So one last thing I'll say about it is the main mechanics you use is you have intelligence and senses. So basically, because everything is just jungle bullshit and you can't see through anything, you press Y or triangle or whatever, and then you get intelligence. So you look around and it has like little blips all around you that highlight certain items of interest, and you have to like aim at them and scan them to identify them. And then you could basically go over to it physically. Like you can mark it on your vision. Like you look around and you see a thing hanging from a tree. At first it shows up as like a blank square, and then you have to like hone in on it and scan it, and then it'll say like, oh, it's a question mark item. Okay, I can't identify it from over here. But then you can mark it and remember its location so that it always shows up on your screen. So if you're looking in that direction, you'll see it kind of floating.
So it's like a map within your senses?
Yeah. But yeah, I think you can only remember 1 or 2 things at a time right now. That might be a skill that you develop. There is a skill tree and you can develop your skills, but it doesn't tell you what the tree is. You have to figure it out as you
Yeah. So is there a way, like if you find, let's say, like a berry and you don't know what it does, like do you eat it and then you find out what it does?
Yep. You have to eat it to find out what it does.
So it could poison you, it could kill you, it could, know. But then when you die, or let's say you die and you start over, does it still tell you that these berries would kill you? Or
yeah,
what?
well, when you... I don't know, do you mean when all apes die, or whenever it's just one ape?
Oh, if it's one ape, then he dies, and then you just become another ape, right?
Yeah, you just play as another one. You can play as any ape.
If you develop medicines from using plants or eating food to figure out their effects, like, can't you stock up on these medicines and then use them to like help an ape that was poisoned or something?
Yeah, that's the goal. So the idea, and they say this, like when you press the pause menu, there's like it cycles through hints and stuff. One of those hints is straight up just like play this game as if you have to survive, do what you would do to survive. So just think exactly,
It's a survival game. I don't like those.
It's very much on instinct survival though. But it's not convoluted and stupid like fucking Rust or Minecraft where it's like, oh, you do 2 things and you unlock 3 different recipes and you're like, oh, do this to do this to do. No, it doesn't throw everything at you up front. You have to discover it and earn it.
Yeah, you learn it, and then...
So the more you progress, the easier it is?
Ideally, yeah.
Okay.
And then you basically learn how to like build weapons too, right, Evan?
Yeah, which I have no idea how to do, and it's pretty cool.
Apes with weapons. I like that.
The most that I've learned how to do with the construction mechanic is I gathered like 4 of this certain kind of stick, and put it on the ground and then built, and then it made a bed. And then when you have a bed, you can actually do more things.
Like have sex.
Yeah. Which is not successful 100% of the time. It depends on some random factors that I don't know
Ew,
about.
they make you watch mating apes?
No, it's kind of like The Sims. They just kind of zoom the camera out.
Okay.
Just, some of them shoot blanks, some of them don't.
What is
guess
this,
so.
like ape Sims?
Yeah, basically.
Like, all jokes aside, the way you're explaining it, Evan, it makes me actually way more excited to play it.
It's
Yeah,
fun.
like, is Tarzan in there? Like,
Yeah, probably. Man, it's fun because it's just chaos and you're not supposed to know what's going on. So you don't feel like an idiot, like, oh, why couldn't I figure that out?
Yeah.
Which is me with RPGs, so it was just a personal thing.
Oh, it's so cool. Yeah, I'm excited to try it. I haven't
definitely
installed
try
it
it.
and everything, but yeah.
Go into it with an open mind and understand that you're not going to know what the fuck is going on for like hours.
The one thing I did in the game was just change my graphics setting, and that's it.
Yeah, the graphics aren't that good in the game, admittedly,
That's what I
but
heard.
it's all right. I think
How
the
much-
graphics aren't good. I feel like when they showed it at E3, it looked like beautiful, but I don't know. Was that all CGI?
no, well, have a look again. You'll see that it's basically PS3 graphics or early PS4.
It looks like PS3 graphics, yeah.
Yeah, it's really not. It's not.
I thought
at
the
times.
trailer that they showed was like super good.
I don't know. How much was it, Evan? Was it a full price game, like $80?
Nope. $39.99, I think, or $49.99.
Oh, that's still steep though.
No, it's
$39.99.
it's a comfortable price for the kind of game that it is. It's very well thought out. It's unique. I would highly recommend it for sure.
Yeah, the creator basically said, he's like, I know for a fact that a lot of people won't enjoy this game, and you're gonna have a lot of people that will enjoy this game. He's like, I'm not expecting everyone to like it.
Mhm.
It's such a cool concept. Like, no one's ever done this before. It's just like, oh, it sounds cool. I just like the fact of like learning how to create weapons and like eating plants and figuring out what it does to you and shit. Like, it's cool. And like, I guess like tigers, if when you're all at the base, I heard that like tigers will like sneak up on your camp and like
Yeah,
kill everyone.
yeah. If you decide to move your camp, and you can move it anywhere, really.
That's fucking cool.
Tons of shit you can do. I haven't even covered all of it, but I think in the interest of time, we'll just move on to John's games.
I do want to hear more about it though, like throughout the week. So we do the podcast just to see like how far you've gone into it and stuff.
Oh,
Because like you didn't mention it, but when you die, you basically start all over again.
right.
Are you
it is
serious?
roguelike.
So it's
When all your apes
permadeath?
die, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
So-
you start all over again.
Further incentive to keep your people alive.
No, honestly though, like $40 for that, like replayability, baby.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. I do want to, before I get to my games, there's something I want to tell you, Evan and Christina. It came out today, but Sony is shutting down the Uncharted 2, Uncharted 3, and The Last of Us PlayStation 3 multiplayer servers.
No.
Yeah, so no more.
no one's playing them anyways.
It's no more wave mode. Well, I guess
Still.
we could play them on the PS4, I believe, but
That's surprising. That's genuinely surprising why they would do that.
yeah. And it's,
Evan, have you played it in the recent 2 years?
Hey, there are games out there that are still going on PS3.
there's still a lot, yeah. Uncharted 2,
Yeah, but,
Uncharted
like,
3.
All the Call
You
of
gotta
Duties are
move on,
still
right?
online.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, that makes sense though. Like Call of Duty is a huge franchise that everyone wants to play. Uncharted's not like a known multiplayer RPG franchise.
No, but still, they only have a couple of games out, Naughty Dog, right? So, and I'm sure they're making all the money in the world. It's definitely not hard to keep the servers running, or at least one or two.
But
Eh.
so there's two things though. Like they never, I don't usually when they announce the shutdowns for the servers, they usually give you like months notice, unless they already did, and I don't remember them. Oh yeah, they did actually in June. I just read that.
Okay.
But they gave a reminder, I guess, to players yesterday that the servers were shutting down today, so they're done now. But another
Damn.
thing that makes me wonder is if they're shutting down all of these servers, does this mean that PS3 is basically going to be, they're not going to support PS3 in like the next couple of years? Because like PlayStation Vita is dead now, right? Like, they're not doing anything for the Vita, but eventually they won't support the PS3.
Probably, especially if PS5 comes out.
That's what I'm thinking. But maybe this is the start, like shutting down all the servers. PS4 servers are still up for Uncharted, you know, the Uncharted and The Last of Us and all that stuff. But
yeah, I mean, they probably will stop supporting it soon.
Yeah, but the one thing, it's funny though that the Last of Us servers shut down, because I was just watching the video of us playing it on the, like, I have the video on YouTube, and I was watching it on Sunday. I was like, man, this game looks great. I forgot how good the multiplayer was.
Yeah, it still does. It still does look great. Holds up.
That was sad news. I want to let you guys know. But to my games though, whoa, I got another game that came out last week. It's called Control.
Yeah.
Tell
us about Control.
Remedy games.
What? Okay.
I made a little jingle for Remedy games.
That's beautiful. We should sell it for money.
Oh,
I love it.
Maybe they'll just give me Max Payne servers in money.
Hope so.
But yeah, so I played Control. It's an action adventure game, and it was released on August 27th, 2019, developed by Remedy Games and published by 505 Games. This game's cool. It revolves around a secret government agency called the FBC, and it's studying like a phenomenon which like violates the law of reality. It's really weird. Like the story right now, I have no idea what's going on. All I know is that the enemies, like this thing that they released, is called the Hiss, and they basically take over people's bodies and you kill them. And I think you're trying to figure out a way to take out the Hiss and put the Hiss back to where it belongs, so that everyone else who's actually like the Hiss has taken over can actually come out of it and stay alive. But you play as a girl named Jessie Faden. She's the director. So when I mean the director, it's basically this gun that you find in this building. Once you pick it up and it accepts you, you become the director. So you actually control this gun. And this gun can actually transform into different types of weapons. So the whole game, it's just you with this one gun. But with the gun transforming, it could change into like a machine gun, or it can change into a shotgun or a regular pistol. That's all I had so far since I've been playing it. But so you pick up this gun and then you explore this building and you defeat the enemies called the Hiss, which is corrupting the whole building. And eventually you come across new abilities in the building. So you can actually get like telekinesis, like supernatural abilities. So you can get like telekinesis, levitation. You can control other enemies, so you can turn them into allies. You can like pick up a bunch of stuff from the ground, like cement blocks and stuff, and use that as a shield. So when people start shooting you, you can just like block all the bullets and then drop them, and then pick one of those pieces up and throw them at the enemies. It's such a cool concept. It reminds me a lot of like Second Sight, like back in the day. But it's so the gameplay is so fun when you just like run into a room and like a bunch of enemies are coming in, and you can like you start shooting them, and then all of a sudden you see like this huge, explosive canister on the ground. You can literally pick that up and toss it towards the enemy. It's a huge explosion. Everything in the room that you see is basically you're able to pick up and throw at them. There's not like certain like items in the room that you can only pick up. Like everything in the room, like tables, you can pick up like huge fucking machines. Like it's insane. You can just like destroy enemies.
Can you pick up windows?
Nope, you can't pick up windows.
Well,
it's gross. You
refund.
But a cool thing about that is like if there's no items around you to pick up, you can still pick up or like rip a piece of the wall out and then just use that to like throw at the enemies and stuff. So it's so cool.
Oh, okay, you can at least use walls. Good. Yeah,
you can use like fucking pieces of the walls or pieces of the ground. And then throughout the level, so this whole building is most Remedy games are all linear, right? So you have a mission, you go from point A to point B. This game, basically, when you walk into the building, you can go anywhere you want. You can go, like, you open up the map and it's just a gigantic map, and you can just choose wherever you want to go. And obviously some areas are going to be harder than others, so you actually have to level up a little bit to be able to go there and use your stronger abilities to destroy them. So you'll eventually find out, okay, I can't go here yet because I don't have the ability to float, so I can't get across this, or B, enemies are destroying me and I can't like do anything to them. So I've never actually come across an area where I've been like, okay, yeah, I can't do this, like I need to go back. I usually just look at the map and look at my missions. It says, hey, go to this area, like the laboratory, and then I'm just like, all right, cool, I'll take the elevator to the laboratory and go there. I've never really like just left an area and just kind of explored. But yeah, and eventually when you go through these areas where the hiss are, there's places called control points, and these control points are either infected with the hiss, so you have to destroy all the enemies around the control point, and then once you do that, you can actually take all the hiss out from the control point, and then those control points can be checkpoints, travel points, and then some of them, or most of them, you can actually do like upgrading your weapons. You can upgrade like mods. You can build mods for your weapons and for yourself. There's just like a crazy amount of shit you can do with like everything in this game.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
How are the physics?
Oh, they're really good. It's so cool. Like just running into like small things and seeing them tumble over, and then like if some like guy is running towards you and you see a table near him, you can just like slide it over and like smack him in the side and then just throw the whole table at him.
How are the ragdolls though?
Ragdolls are good. The thing about the ragdolls is like once you kill the enemy, they'll ragdoll, but then they don't actually stay in place. They actually evaporate, so they don't stay there for long. But so many things are going on. Like there's a time where I was in this room. It was like the office, and people were like shooting towards me, and I hid behind this table, and all of a sudden, where like the bullets were hitting on the table, like papers were flying everywhere. Like it's insane, like how much detail they went into it. One thing too that I noticed, which I really like, is there's no regeneration of health. You actually have to pick up health. So every enemy that you kill, they drop these like little blue spheres, and you could just like run over them, and you collect them, gives you health. There's also different enemy types. So you'll get like the regular guys that are super easy to kill. Then you have these people that will float in the air, and if you throw something at them, they'll be able to dodge it super easily, but they don't have any weapons. The only way that they attack you is by using telekinesis as well. So they'll lift up stuff and throw stuff at you. And then there's like the heavies. So obviously bigger guys with bigger guns. They take a lot more damage. Just stuff like that. And then you have like these little like creatures that will like run towards you and explode. Another cool thing too is like with the upgrade system, you can, when you start the game, you can't really do much with like telekinesis. Like you can pick stuff up and like throw the items at the enemies, but eventually you can actually upgrade to the point where you can lower someone like the health, and then you can eventually just pick them up and use them to like throw at the enemies and stuff.
Okay.
So eventually you'll become really like overpowered, which is the best. I love it.
It's always nice how near the end of a game you have all the stuff and then you get to use it.
Yeah, you just like become super OP'd. It's amazing. What else is there that I haven't really talked about? Oh yeah, so when you get a new ability, so let's say you get the telekinesis, you receive this telekinesis from like an item, and then this item brings you into this world, which I don't know what it's called, but basically you have to go through this world, and it's like a small tutorial. So you're trying to escape this world that it brought you in, but then you're also trying to use this new ability that you unlock to be able to escape it. So it basically gives you a really good detailed tutorial on like how to use it, and then eventually when you get out of that area, you're like, all right, I know how to use this. Like you're like, you will never be able to go into a room and be like, oh fuck, how do I use this again? Like I don't know like what to do. Like it goes into really like great depths for it. It's worth it. Graphics are really really good. I'm playing on the PC. Super good. Runs smooth. And I also heard that ray tracing is in this game. I don't have a good enough card to actually use it, but supposedly ray tracing in this game is like phenomenal. It's like the best way to like show off ray tracing right now. So yeah, look at a trailer for it, Evan.
Okay. Well, I remember seeing the E3 gameplay videos. It looked sweet.
Yeah, the story, like it's...
How are the cutscenes?
They're good. Like, there's times where you like the cutscenes will happen, and then you can actually sit down with like the person that you were just talking to, and you can ask additional information. So you kind of get a backstory of like additional information about this, like what's happening with like these people, or you know, things that you can kind of talk to them about, and then you'll learn stuff from it. Like, so for example, the last time I played, I was talking about this new enemy that I found, and she like was explaining it to me. I'm like, oh cool, like I found a way to like kill them or something. It's just like a lot of backstory, and like kind of opens up the lore a bit more. And
so you're saying you can interact with the world a lot, or no?
Yeah, like there's certain people that you can like interact with and stuff. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like there's a lot of people you can talk to, a lot of things you can go through, like different buildings or houses.
Everything happens in this one building.
Oh, that's right. It's like one giant office complex.
Oh, okay. So you're not going outside.
No. And then like the hiss that's taking over this complex, basically it shifts the room. So all the rooms, like the walls will be like moving and stuff. And then eventually when you get rid of the hiss and you cure the area, everything in that room will go back to normal. And then it actually like shows off, you know, the room and stuff like that. But it's cool. Like it adds a lot more like different ways to play, like in a room where like the walls are shifting and like you can like hide behind certain walls, and then all of a sudden like that wall will shift again, so all your cover will be gone. You're like, fuck, like I need to go somewhere else. But yeah, the game is just so fun. Like I could see it kind of getting repetitive with like the telekinesis and stuff, but as of right now, like I love it. It's so fun. It's just so fun to walk into a room and like have a bunch of enemies like coming towards you, and you just see like this fire extinguisher, and you just like rip it off the wall and like toss it to them, and like it explodes. And like when it explodes, everything around like in that area will be covered in like the foam from the fire extinguisher. Like the detail that they did in that game is phenomenal. It's so good.
Yeah,
I definitely recommend playing it.
I will check it out.
Yeah, it's actually on Epic. On Epic.
Oh, great.
$80.
Refunds.
Yes, epic.
Yeah, you would not want to refund this game. It's definitely.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like I would. It's
a game that's pretty long, right? Like the story mode is quite a bit of hours.
Like I'm taking my time too with it. So like you can go into areas and like you'll find like pickups. So you can like these papers that you can read, and it kind of gives you more of a backstory as well. Like on like how the hiss was made, or just like small things. And like the thing about Remedy games is that they add so much detail in the game. Like they also have like TVs, so you can like activate the TVs, and there'll be like small plays that they do like in the office at Remedy and stuff. Like they just have fun with it. And every Remedy game that I've played, I'm always like, they put so much effort into it, and they're such a good company. One of my favorite companies for sure. So yeah, Alice Control, play it.
Before we end the podcast, I do want to add one thing that I found out this week that actually really bothered me. Cross marketing between Borderlands 3 and Fortnite. I don't know if you guys heard of this.
Oh yeah.
So basically in Fortnite you can so if you pre-order Borderlands 3, you get basically, I guess, skins for Fortnite. So it's like the Psycho Pack, where you get Borderlands 3 skins.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, those two
like,
should totally be related
skins
to
for your
one another.
weapons, skins for your character.
Oh
So stupid.
No.
Yeah, Borderlands 3, like, I guess wants to really do well.
These two crowds should not mix at all.
I know. I'm just like, come on. Like, I understand, like, Gearbox, like, they want to make it a very successful game because, like, it's the third one of the franchise, right? So it's either make or break for this. And I think Borderlands 3 would have done well without cross marketing, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Totally
But
would have.
I do have one more game, Christina. It's called Shinobido 2: Revenge of the Sen. I won't go into too much detail. I haven't really played much of it, but I'll just do it quick. But it's actually, this game's on the PlayStation Vita. And I played it on. I finally played my PlayStation Vita after like months of not playing it.
Oh yeah.
But it's developed by Acquire and published by Bandai Namco. It was released February 21st, 2012. It's a stealth action game, so kind of like Tenchu. From what I've played of this game, it's a cool concept. Like the levels are, it's not an actual level. You don't go into a level, beat it. It's not like Katana Zero or whatever. It's like this small little village, and people will give you like missions to like kill this merchant, which will be in that level. So you have to like sneak in this small level, kill him, and then if you basically, these three people all have different armies, and if one person asks you to kill one of the two merchants, then the other person will actually lose like money or like weapons or something like that. So it's a lot like, it's kind of like RPG, like, I find. Like, you can craft in the game. You can basically purchase new weapons, all that stuff. But I'm just happy that I'm playing the PlayStation Vita again.
Mm-hmm. So wait a second. Are you telling me that all three of us played a ninja game this week?
Yes, Sushi Striker.
Yeah, it's true, actually.
Shinobi 2, and I played
Katana Zero.
Katana Zero.
Well, all video games are mostly all heavily influenced by Japan, so why not?
Yeah.
Sorry,
But yeah, this game is fun. It reminds me a lot of Tenchu. I'm a huge stealth fan, so playing this game, I was hooked immediately. But for a PlayStation Vita game, the graphics are pretty good. The only downfall of the game is like the camera movement is kind of clunky, but it doesn't ruin the game. Like, it's perfectly fine. But yeah, like, I haven't really played much of it. I'd probably put like maybe 2 hours into it already, but I'll have more information like throughout the weeks and stuff. But yeah, Shinobido, Revenge of the Zen, good
Right
game.
on.
Yep.
I miss PC Vita. PC Vita.
PC Vita.
So it had so much potential, but only a few games came out in North America that really hit the market, and then Japan took over.
It's sad though, because that system is actually really good.
Yeah.
It's pretty powerful.
Yep.
So
if you ask me, I think it's just slightly below the graphical capacity of the Switch, which is still surprising.
I agree with that. For sure.
Okay. I think that just about does it for us, eh, guys?
Yeah, I don't have anything else.
A lot of great games this week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of playtime has gone into this past week, and we'll be keeping you posted for next week when we have even more to talk about, of course.
Yes, lots of enjoyment playing games this week to come for sure.
I'm just excited to hear more Ancestors from Evan.
Yeah, I do want to actually keep playing it. It's very rare that I keep going with a game.
I really want to play it. I'm probably gonna play it this week.
You should. It's because like I don't know shit about it, so it's actually making me want to discover what you can do. And I'm gonna try not look at wikis or anything.
What'd be cool, actually, Evan? You should play some gameplay and post it for the +3 podcast viewers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, if you guys haven't seen, I added a Call of Duty video of Evan and I playing the new gun. What is it called?
Gunfight.
Gunfight. Yeah.
Yeah.
So check that out.
For Call of Duty.
Yes, Call of Duty.
Keep your eyes peeled for that. We'll be posting some quick plays every once in a while. And as far as that goes, that's all we have for this week. Stay tuned for next week on the +3 podcast.